We'll go ahead and call this meeting, May 18th, Board of County Commissioner meeting to order, and welcome you all here today. We appreciate you being here and appreciate you participating. I've asked Commissioner Tommy Langford to say our prayer, and Commissioner Bill Martin to lead us in the flag. If you'll please stand.
Pray with me, please. Most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, the one and only true living God, the creator of the universe, we humble ourselves before you at this time, just thanking you for this another wonderful day and opportunity that we have to come together and conduct business that's been set before us. We pray, Father, that we would be looked at the agenda, that we will look at the facts and try to make the best decisions possible for this county and this state and this country. We're so thankful, Father, that we can have the ability to serve and the opportunity to serve the citizens of this county and represent them in making decisions to operate the county in the way we do. And we just pray, Father, that you'll continue to bless us. We thank you, Father, for your long-suffering and your mercy and your grace, and especially for your love that you have shown for us, and especially in sending your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, to this earth to set an example for us and give us a plan of salvation that we might one day have eternal life with thee in heaven. We ask, Father, at this time that you'd be with all our first responders and our firemen and policemen and everybody that puts their life on the line each and every day to protect us and keep us safe. Just keep them as safe as possible. Be with our country, be with our leaders, our elected officials, that they might look to you for their wisdom and their guidance and their understanding, directing this country in the way that you would want it to go, not the way that everybody else would want it to go. We ask, Father, that you be with those throughout the world that are less fortunate, don't have the blessings and the opportunity we have as far as a physical life. We're so blessed to live where we do and to be free, and there's so many that are unfortunate in that way. We ask, Father, that you be with those that's lost their loved ones and comfort their hearts and give them the peace that surpasses all understanding. Go with us now, continue to bless us, and guard, God, and keep us. Forgive us of our shortcomings. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Address the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have any agenda changes from anybody?
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
No, Mr. Chairman.
I have a couple. One is just an addition to the time certain at 5:15, just to ensure that all the proper documents were there. That has been added to the agenda. As well as on the clerk's report, there's a letter from Intuit regarding the supervisor of elections.
Okay. Those are noted.
Move to approve the agenda with the noted changes.
Second.
Okay. Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as changed. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Everybody had a chance to look at the consent agenda. Any questions or comments related to it?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. Have a motion
Second.
and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. We come to the part of our meeting, the first part of our meeting, to allow the public to provide any input or ask questions that are particularly on things that are not listed on the agenda. And if you would like to do that now, you can come forward, or you can do that at the end of the meeting. Either one would be convenient. All right. Not seeing anybody at this point. We'll move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Ms. Marine, was you wanting to speak now? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Come on.
We were here, we've been here before. My name is Dorothy Ring. We represent the Bell's Community Mission Incorporated, which is a food distribution in Bell. We keep going round and round about this. We've been to Bell.
I'm sorry. So, yeah, I think she mentioned
She said
her
her
name.
name, I couldn't hear.
Dorothy Ring.
Okay. Thank you, Miss
Okay.
Dorothy. Okay.
So we have moved ahead. We have gotten we are a 501c nonprofit. So we got our solicitation charter, so we can start doing that. We have a vehicle coming that is a Sprinter van, so we got money for that. What we are looking for, and this will be coming up in your budget, we are asking you for $2,500 for the year to see if you can work that out. We would love that, but we would be very grateful for any kind of financial help that we can get, because what we're running into, we are using the community center at this point when it's available. The town of Bell does not really see fit to find any other location for us because of insurances and whatnot. We've already been in touch with some insurance companies, so now we're going to start looking into some of the buildings there that are vacant, go to those owners to see if there's any way that we can work out some sort of a deal. But obviously, whatever financial aid that we can get, we serve all of Gilchrist County. People come from a lot of different places, so we are there 8 to 10 times per month. We're there every single Tuesday, every other Friday, and then we get another large truck in at least once a month from Bread of the Mighty or from another organization. So I'm just kind of here to let you know that we would really appreciate, and if you as a county have ability or are aware of any places in Bell, because we need to stay in Bell. We don't want to come any further. So, because we would like to, in the future, have a food pantry. So that's one of the other problems that we have with using the community center. We don't have the refrigeration, we don't have the storage, because we don't come in and out. So we need a place that can be permanent for us so that we can continue to grow with it and be able to help the community.
Okay. I think it would be helpful, I think, to have, you maybe already have given us this, but maybe just a brief summary of your request and some of the, I'm thinking a page or whatever, just to be part of the process. And
Yes, Mr. Chairman, they have furnished that to me.
Okay.
And what that will be is once we start working on our budgets, we'll add that into our budget process.
Okay.
Which I'd spoken to Ms. Ring about, and that'll be, their request is in there, it will be in there, and they've got provided some information to support.
Okay, and
their
then
request.
we'll start that process in June or July?
Late July or usually
Late
August.
July.
So if I ask for an amount of that, and let's say you don't want to do that, is it an absolute no, or do you come back with rebuttal and say, no, we can't do that, but we could help you with this? So how does that work?
I think during that process, we'll consider all the outside requests, outside organization requests, and we would go through each one of them
And let us know
just,
whatever could be available
we'll
to us.
discuss, right.
Okay, okay, terrific.
All right,
Thank
anybody
you very
else?
much.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything that you
Okay,
do. We
thank
do
you.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Any other questions or anything?
Anybody?
Is there any particular, and it may be on that list, is there any particular thing you want to spend the $2,500 on? Like, are you looking for a freezer, or are you looking for something like
You know
that?
what?
Because sometimes
Whatever is
we
going
might find those things donated.
Right.
If, if a kitchen or something is closing down, they may donate something like that.
Right.
And so I didn't know if that's what you're looking for specifically, but you're also looking for a
We need
building.
The problem is we need a building. It would be wonderful if we had a freezer, but we don't have a place to put it. We'd go back to my house or go to somebody else's house and we would be buggy lucky, so we don't want to do that. So, obviously we want to find a place that we can use on a regular basis and then build from there.
In the
So-
Bell area.
Exactly. So, and because it's for the community, we have to do whatever needs to be done so that there's a ramp, there's the proper toilets and whatnot. And like I said, we are going to companies and talking to them about donations, and people are they're really being pretty good. So, but that money would go to whatever, whether it's insurance, rent, if we can't get a place donated to us, whatever. We're trying to put together whatever finances that we
Okay.
can. Okay?
Thank you. for
All right,
what you
thank you
guys-
so much.
Thank you for being here. Anybody else from the public? Not seeing anybody, okay. And then next agenda item would be constitutional officers, and I don't think anybody is here that it appear wants to speak. So we'll move on to the county administrator part of the agenda. Mr. Crosby?
Yes, sir. The first item on my agenda today is a memorandum of agreement for the use of a weather sim station between the Florida Division of Emergency Management and Gilchrist County, which we'll need to add to that form. I'm sorry we didn't have that on the top there. But as you know, we have, and I'll let Mr. Smith, where's Mr. Smith? There he is.
He's camouflaged right there.
Mr. Smith was at the conference last week, and I think they spoke some about the weather stems. I'll let him tell you about the weather stem and how that program works.
So Ralph Smith, Emergency Management. As you guys know, we do have these units throughout the county. This particular unit we actually have at Santa Fe River Park. We're looking to add one more in the county. And I think we pick a location.
Well, I think our location that you and I kind of discussed would either be over on the property that the county owns at the Swanee Valley Leagues, or
Yes.
either maybe over by the arena, but right in that general area, just
Yes.
because of a lot of the activities that you have going on there. You'd be able to help monitor weather.
When I was at Bell, I know they located one on the Bell campus
Yeah, so
on
that one-
the land lab, so.
That one has since been deactivated because of the
Oh,
age
really?
of it. Yes, sir. We have one at the EOC.
Okay.
So the locations we have them at is Santa Fe River Park, the EOC, Trenton High School, and Station 4, which is one at Station 4 is not working correctly. It's showing it's been out of service for a year for some reason. So we'll get that fixed. Hopefully we can upgrade that one to one of these new ones also as soon as the next budget year comes out for the state. But we were allotted to have one put in our county. So,
Okay, I noticed that for 3 years, it's includes all the maintenance and everything that. After 3 years, do you know what it costs to keep that?
I do not know what it costs to keep it. They've said that since we started getting these, and we've never paid a dime for them.
I was fixing to say, I didn't pay anything at Bell for the one
No,
we
sir.
had. They came out and did all the maintenance on it if there was a problem, and
Yes.
they never charged me anything, so I
Yes,
was,
sir. So Weatherstone has received the grants from the state. The state's putting out, I think it's 1.9 million.
yeah,
a
I saw
year.
that.
So far the funding has not been cut, and we're guaranteed for 3 years, and then they'll reevaluate after 3 years. But if it does become a cost, emergency management will pick the cost up.
So everybody doesn't know what a weather stem is. It's a weather station. It gives you wind, rain, gives you how many miles lightning has struck within that station. We used it at football games, so if there was lightning, you could see whether it was within 7 miles of the school. Because I think if it's within 7 miles of the school, they can't play. They have to wait 30 minutes. And so for those of you who haven't seen them, they're pretty cool, neat little systems.
And it's an app you download on your phone. I'm looking at mine right
Yeah,
now.
it's completely free for the end user. The great thing about the ones we're getting now is they're standalone, where the battery inside a case, everything, it does not have to have a wire run back to the building, which is part of the problem at Station 4. It is a standalone, complete unit on a cell site that we don't have to pay.
And most of them even have a camera.
And it tells you how much-
outside Somewhere you can see what the weather looks like.
Yes, sir.
Usually pointed at the horizon.
It tells you, you know, how much rain you've had in the month, last 24 hours in the year. I mean, it tells you a lot of stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
I check the one at EOC quite often for distance to lightning.
This is
Yes, sir. And the one we have at Santa Fe River Park, we actually have a camera on the actual boat ramp also, so it gives us a good view of the water. So with the flooding issues we had.
Okay. Any other questions? So it's a grant, 100% grant?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion, we approve the memorandum of agreement.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the weather stem agreement. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. My next item is number 7 under Road Department. For the paving of Northeast 30th Dixie grade, there is some relocation of power poles, power itself, and some of the fiber optic lines. The cost to do that is $205,708.21. Of course, Central Florida Electric is the only ones who can do that because it's their power lines and all. The grant will not pay for this. We have a grant for paving of a little over 2.3 million, and then we had a grant, I believe it was 200, so it's 1,000. So we had about a $2.6 million grant for this project, but due to the location of those poles, they have to be relocated to meet the FDOT standards. So, but the county would be responsible for that $205,781.21. It's a one-time expense, and we would have to pay that out of general.
Okay. Board have any questions related to that or concerns or?
That would come out of our fund balance.
I make a motion, we do it. I mean, only way to get the road done is to, is to
Say
pay for the pole
we
movement.
put way too much work in this to
Yeah.
stop right now,
Yeah, I mean,
and it's almost a $3 million project. You don't want to stop it for.
I'll second your motion, Commissioner.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve this expenditure to move forward with Northeast 30th Street relocation of the electrical system. Any other
Well,
questions?
now,
Yep.
when I was on the board the first time, I took Lee Mills out there. Of course, we were trying to work on it back then. He told me nothing would have to be moved, no utility poles. I know things have changed. I know the system changed, the state's changed, the rules changed. But back then, he said nothing would have to be moved, but I guess it's, different now that they would have to move them. And probably the fiber optic.
Yeah, all of this.
I mean, we ain't got no choice. But
Yeah, all of this following the state Department of Transportation requirements.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing.
It's changed, I'm sure.
Yeah, the thing, I'm guessing Central Florida, Bobby, is given, I mean, they could be charging more than what they're charging for this.
They did a good job on giving us this price. They went back and forth 3 or 4 times, going back out, making sure, double checking, and just kept the one down. It's, they did. Even Mr. Danny George got involved so that they could make sure they could give us the best price possible, because they're not interested in making any money off the county. They're just interested in what it costs them to do it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Any other? Okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Mr. Chairman, you have a 415.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And we'll move to that. And will you handle that, Mr. Lang?
Well, it's under the clerk's report. I don't know if Todd wanted to take off. Ryan Reed is here with Roman.
Actually, it's it's just under time certain.
And it's concerning a comprehensive agreement related to Romer LLC, and we've had some of these discussions, and thank you for coming back and your patience.
Yes, sir. We actually have met with Ryan on a couple of different occasions, the clerk and myself. We've kind of hammered out some of the nuances to the resolution 2026-09. There was a required comprehensive agreement and also a site license agreement and easement that we discussed. Ryan's worked real hard on this. He made all these drafts initially that we had discussed, and then I think he worked during the week last week to kind of update them. I had a couple of things. Let me go ahead and read, if I could, the resolution, and then we can discuss that and the comprehensive agreement and the license and easement agreement all as one package, because it's referencing those things in the resolution itself. So we have resolution number 2026-09 is a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Gilchrist County, Florida, making findings of public purpose and economic development in support of the comprehensive agreement between Gilchrist County and Romer LLC for the deployment of broadband and public safety communications infrastructure, authorizing and confirming the conveyance of the utility easements on county-owned property under Article 4 of the comprehensive agreement, delegating execution authority to the county administrator or county attorney, and providing an effective date. And that's reading by title only. First off, before we go any farther on that thing, and I probably should have told Ryan this the other day when we were looking at this. I thought we were handling this, but the next to last sentence of the title of that thing, I don't have any problem with the authority to execute be invested in the county administrator, but it's not appropriate to be vested in the county attorney. So we need to take the county attorney out of being a party to execute the agreement. And it's also, I think, set forth on page 2 where it references the county attorney as a signatory again down at the third wherefore clause from the bottom, Ryan, where it references the county attorney and the county administrator. So I would like to be removed from that. I'll render advice and tell you what's legal, but I don't need to be signing the agreement as one of the parties. The board does. It should be the chairman, and perhaps it should be the chairman first, but in case the chairman's not available, vice chairman or the county administrator, if he chose to do that, could fill that role.
I did email over the amended version, but maybe it didn't make it in, but I can provide that. I did make that change though to To the corrected version that I created last week, I removed the county attorney language.
You want to go ahead and make your presentation, and then I'll point out a couple of things that I've come up with since we spoke the last time. I promised you I wouldn't put you on the spot, but I did, when I reread the thing, it's very comprehensive, to be perfectly frank with you, and there are a couple of things I'd like to tell the board about.
Okay, actually, I don't have a presentation. If we need to change some things, we can get back to another meeting, and we can come back again.
So Ryan, basically, for anybody that hadn't been here in the past, in a nutshell, you want to put towers related to Romer broadband and also allowing the county to put communication equipment on those towers. Can you add to that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's mostly utility poles, also some towers, and the structures would all be made available to the county for public safety purposes, because we are working under a state-funded grant program that we were selected for this purpose. We specifically are in the wireless industry, not the fiber industry, so the state kind of selected those strategically in areas where it would be beneficial. So we're making available the infrastructure that we're building under those state grants to the county for public safety use as well. And we're asking for utility easements on county property instead of going in right-of-ways, because going in right-of-ways takes up a lot of space and it makes things a little harder. Obviously, it's a little harder to get a utility easement done as well, but it's a better location. So that's the approach that we're trying to take in a nutshell. And when we're done, it'll provide broadband internet service to any areas that haven't already received broadband internet service from another provider. We do already cover about 3,500 rooftops in the county so far. We'll end up covering every rooftop in the county, just in case people need a competitive option. But it also guarantees that public safety equipment will work everywhere in the county, and there won't be any dead zones anymore. We've been working with Ralph here to figure that out as well. So that's the mission that we're on. We're trying to get this across the finish line so that we can actually start building it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
This resolution will get you where you need to be.
Yeah, it sounds like we need a modified version of it. So
I think it can be approved with the modifications if those are the things that we're looking at.
Oh, yeah,
doing.
yeah.
What are
I'm
the
not trying to
mon-
hold you up. We're
Okay.
gonna, no, we're gonna approve that today.
Okay.
My recommendation is going to be to pass it, but we need to make a couple of changes in that by removing me out of it and
no
doing a
problem.
couple things like that. And explaining to the board, this is in essence a statutorily authorized public-private partnership. And the benefit, the board has to find that there is a benefit to the public under the statute, and the board finds pursuant to Article 7, Section 10 of the Florida Constitution and Section 125.35 Florida statutes that these public utility easements on county-owned property to Romer serves a paramount public purpose. Such conveyance is in the best interest of Gilchrist County. The in-kind consideration provided by Romer substantially exceeds the fair market rental of the easements that are being conveyed, so that we're not giving away something for free. We're actually getting something in return. And actually, the direct and primary benefits of the conveyance flows to the county and its residents, and Romer's commercial benefit being incidental to the public purpose that's being served. Now, Ryan could highlight several of the benefits to Gilchrist County, and I think that would be important for the public as well as for the board to hear those things, that if they grant you this easement and declare this to be of paramount public importance, what you're giving to us in return, and also touch again on the poles versus the tower and the 15% if there are some that are utilized.
Absolutely. So we're trying to build as many utility poles as we can, because it's a much easier structure to build. It doesn't get bright lights on it. It doesn't interfere with your nighttime view of the sky and things like that. So we like utility poles. They're big utility poles, like what you see on Highway 26. They're big, but they're not as much of a eyesore as a tower. But there's some locations that do need to be a tower as well. And so the way that we've structured this agreement is that anything that we do on county property, whether it's a utility pole or a tower, if it is a tower and tenants come along like T-Mobile or Verizon or anybody else, and they say, hey, we want to build a tower here, or we need co-location space here, we can give them co-location space so they don't have to build a brand new tower, And we're able to give a 15% concession back to the landowner. That's pretty common in the tower industry, to give a 15% concession back to the landowner when you're on leased space. So that is a benefit to the county if there are ever any tenants come along. We've also designed our utility poles to be classified as a utility pole, but be able to carry the weight of at least one major carrier loading. They're designed to hold our loading times 3, which is very small. But if it were ever have to be converted to a tower, that meets the municipal code for the county. That makes it pass as a tower then. So then an SUP would be done if, say, AT&T came along and said, we really need to be here to get your FirstNet working because your first responders are not getting signal over here. The county can approve an SUP to turn that into a full tower, and then those big installations can go on, and the county would get 15% of that rent as well. We're also offering free, we call it layer 2 service. It's basically connectivity between facilities. So if we have a pole somewhere, there's radio equipment that Ralph says, hey, we need this here, but they need connectivity back to their other facilities. That's free. If there's a contiguous building like Southeast Station, we give internet to the fire station. Anything like that. Sheriff's office needs connection to that layer 2, no problem. We're putting a pole up there. It'll connect to the sheriff's office. They'll have that backup. Whether they use it as primary or backup makes no difference to us, right? If their fiber line gets cut to the sheriff's office, it's going to ride over our network to get radio communications working between the EOC, the sheriff's office, and all these other facilities that the county needs operational during a hurricane or whatever. We're also offering discounted services to any other county buildings just as part of the deal. We're just saying, hey, we're also going to offer this in. We structured it pretty well to where any competitive bids can come in and we'll just say, okay, here's our bid back. It's 20% less than whatever you got bid from somebody else. We're also offering the same co-location space to the county on any of our private structures. So we have structures that are not on county land that we own. Same deal, just a little different. Just if the county wants space on it, they'll get space on it. That's basically what that's offering. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Probably some other incidentals, but
All right, are there any things, the things that you want changes, are they like deal breakers or just changing the name or something like that?
No, none of them are deal breakers.
Okay.
I just want to add that this is authorized, it's called, under Florida statutes 255.065, Public-Private Partnerships for Public Facilities and Infrastructure Act is what authorizes us to enter into this agreement if the board finds that that's a benefit to the county that outweighs the use of them renting our right-of-way. So by what he's granting to us, that's what he's stating. They're doing the tower, I think, probably first at the Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office.
yes, the first project we would complete would be at the sheriff's office. We actually have the steel on the ground already, so it's ready to go, and everything's ready. So
Somebody told me that, I haven't seen it, but that's what I told
Yeah,
her. It's
yeah.
still sitting down there and hadn't been put up. No, in the only real other things I have, and then I'll defer to Todd because he was in the same meetings that I was with Ryan, is that although there is some public records language in our comprehensive agreement, it just needs to match what public records language we require in all our private contracts. In reading it, I wasn't sure that it did. You might have copied that verbatim off of us, but we got to make sure that, and there's also Florida Statute Section 787.06, subparagraph 14, requires an affidavit by you as the manager for Romer to sign a statement that you don't employ anybody that's involved in the human trafficking trade. That was put in place by Governor DeSantis here a year or so ago. Those two things need to be added in here. And also, the license agreement and easements, they need to be incorporated, and some blanks are filled in there to fill, because Ryan didn't know if we were going to pass this today or not, so there's some blanks in there as to when the resolution was enacted and the public-private partnership comprehensive agreement was enacted. Those need to be filled in. And finally, I'll be quiet about this thing, and I told Ryan this, and we never got this worked out. There was this agreement, this comprehensive agreement, which was always required. We had to have the comprehensive agreement, even though we kind of disagreed on that when we initially had our public hearing, our public meeting. but he has done a wonderful job coming up with a comprehensive agreement, but he has an initial term of 30 years in that agreement, and I argued with him a little bit. There are 2 initial terms of 10 years each, which makes this a 50-year potential agreement, and I thought the board might think that's too long, but I'll let the board address that as well, or Ryan address that as well. But the initial term's 30 years with options to increase it for 2 additional 10-year terms.
I like that. I like that wording. 30 years with 2 additional terms. I like
Upon
Yeah.
mutual agreement, it should
Yeah.
state.
That's what we incorporated, was 30 years with 2 10-year extensions. The common, what we've seen most places is actually 99 years. That's what they call like a perpetual. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to be here in 99 years. So that's why I
Nor
went
will
with
I.
30 plus 10 and 10. It's mutually beneficial, so it extends our obligation to the county as well. So if we get to year 29 and somebody else is standing here in my place and you all want to keep going, then great. Yeah. I didn't think that was too long, but I should be here in 30 years. I think I might be.
Just to clarify, though, the 30 years, or the 2 10-year extensions are at the provider's sole option.
And I'd like to make that mutual agreement.
Yes, make the 2 10-year extensions mutual.
The reason why it is that way is because of the value of the structure. Because the structure doesn't, we can't take the structure back easily. So once it's there, it's there. And if someone comes in and says, hey, we want to buy Romer, another small company, is absorbing a bunch of small companies, right? And I say, and I just want to reiterate, I've had 3 offers to sell out, and I said no to all 3 of them because they were big, nasty companies, okay? I won't sell to just anybody. But if they come to me and they want to buy Romer and I don't have that, they would be concerned.
So who would clean that up one day whenever?
If the structure is being removed for disposal, we would.
Okay.
And if the structure is still sound, it's not condemnable, it should remain.
So that's in that's in the agreement
It's
that
in the-
y'all would clean it, y'all will
Correct.
remove it? Okay.
Yeah, but it's also in the agreement that if we dissolve, the county gets to own everything. So if we leave at year 29, county owns it all anyway. So it is still mutually beneficial. We can change the language to make sure that it's a mutual agreement to extend, but
Yeah.
it's kind of prohibitive to being able to move forward with other things.
It's a good issue, though. How would that be handled if, Lord forbid, it's not going to happen to you, but say it did, you went bankrupt, went out of business, walked away, how would they get those poles off the property?
I imagine it would be something that, I'm not a bankruptcy attorney, but I'm smart. I would imagine that would be something that the county would have to interface with the bankruptcy trustee to try to assert their rights, right?
You said y'all had one of these in Henry County, one of these agreements?
In Hendry County, we didn't do a comprehensive agreement. Everything is governed underneath the individual
Did they
easements.
require you to put up a bond or anything to remove
No.
any off the property?
No, they did not.
That's an excellent question, though,
Because
because
the-
I've had 2 clients that had cell towers on their property, and the towers are still there and the people are gone, and they can't get them off the property.
Yeah, I mean, the average person doesn't have the use for a cell tower or a utility pole, right? But the county does. I imagine the county would probably want to keep the material. If we were to say, hey, we're going bankrupt, I think the county would want to keep the poles. I think they'd appreciate owning them.
I think, not to be, one of the things I think about, we're not ready at this current time to put public safety infrastructure on any of these, but if we did have public safety infrastructure on them, we wouldn't want the towers removed. So it's kind of a catch-22, I think, situation as well. So if we had stuff on the towers, we definitely wouldn't want someone taking them down.
Correct.
Right.
Or have an agreement saying they had to take them down.
Right.
If we had some kind of a removal agreement, it would also need to protect the county, that if they had something on those towers, that they had the right to continue to keep those towers because of the infrastructure.
And
So-
that's part of what we were trying to accomplish, was making sure the county was protected. If something happens to us, everything vests back to the county under the agreement.
So basically, if we approve this, we need to take out the attorney's name and also add where, It's mutual, the 10 years is with both parties agreeing upon it,
Mutual agreement for any extensions beyond the 30 years.
beyond the 30.
And also add the make sure the records language that's included in there is the same language that we utilize in our other documents, and that the human trafficking language under 78706 affidavit is included. And one thing I didn't see, and this is it, this is final. We need a statement in there. I think you can add it to section 2.5, Ryan. It says nothing contained herein shall prevent or prohibit any other private or public entity from utilizing the county right-of-ways for similar or any usage approved by the BOCC.
I believe it is in the agreement, but I'll have to check.
Did y'all get all that he just said?
It just says we're not hamstringing ourselves where we can't approve someone similar down the road. It's not an exclusive to.
No, I believe it is in the agreement.
Okay, you just pointed out where it's at.
Yeah, I'll have to find it,
That'll
but
be fine.
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve it, but add what I said, also what the attorney just said. But then before anybody signs off on it, I wanna make sure the clerk, the attorney, and the county administrator, they all have reviewed this document.
Subject to review.
Okay,
And
good.
second the
Charlie,
motion.
didn't you agree that we ought to have Daryl, or have the chairman of the board be the signing party?
And
I mean,
if
that's more standard.
Yeah.
if y'all see something y'all ain't still agreeing about, y'all need to bring it back to us.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to, with the suggested changes as discussed.
We have to do public comment.
Do we need public comment?
You probably should have.
Okay. Anybody from the public would like to? Yes, sir. Come forward.
Everyone except the press.
Don't make the press mad now.
Don't make
Mr.
the
Lane.
press mad, no.
Just a couple questions. Ryan, what's your last name?
He can make an
And
order
then
to say
the
whatever
next
he
thing
wants.
is, if I understand correctly, because I tried to listen carefully, this is going to be approved subject to.
Yeah, well, I
review.
don't, but I don't believe you gave us your name. That has to
Oh,
be
it's
down there
okay.
for public.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is, excuse me, Jeff M. Hardison, and I'm doing business as hardisoninc.com. It's a daily news website, www.hardisoninc.com, not incorporated, Inc., like the old days of newspapers. But where was it going with that? Oh, yeah. It's going to be approved with the caveat that Mr. Lang and I guess Mr. Newton are going to review it, and then perhaps maybe even Mr. Crosby.
Yes, all three of them need to review it.
It's
Yes.
good for me. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hardison.
And if they find something they don't like, they bring it back to us.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Well, I want to, when Ryan first come to the county, I met with him, and he told me what he intended to do, and I told him I was going to hold his feet to the fire. And I'm still going to hold his feet to the fire. I'm sure he has, I'm 100% positive he has Gilchrist County as number one in the work that he's doing, the efforts he's making. Everything he's done so far has been upfront, positive. It's been an asset to Gilchrist County. People have internet that didn't have it before. Even before Central Florida came along, he was hooking up people. I've heard nothing but positive. I've never heard a negative. So I really support him in what he's doing and look forward to him providing better service and more service to Gilchrist County. He's done a great job. What, 2 years now, Ryan? 3?
a little longer.
Yeah, probably 3 years. Yeah, we met several times, and I told you that I was going to hold your feet to the fire and make sure you said what you did and did what you said, and you've done that so far.
Yep. There's been some times I wanted to take off running, but
Yeah,
I'm not
I
going
told you it wouldn't be easy.
I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you, Commissioner Langford. Anybody else? All right, we got a motion and a second.
Just want to get clarification. We're currently voting on the comprehensive agreement. Is that
I think, are we voting on the
That with the motion?
resolution?
Resolution 2026.
just the resolution?
We're voting on the resolution, I think.
Got it. And then we're going to need,
Incorporates the comprehensive, then I'd like to have a motion to approve the comprehensive agreement.
Okay. Is that all right with you, Mr. Newton?
yes, sir.
All right, so this is a motion to approve Resolution 2026-09 and also incorporate the comprehensive agreement with the changes that we've discussed. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Yes,
We
thank you very
appreciate your
much.
patience.
Thank you, members
So-
of the board.
Yeah, now if we could just get a motion to approve the comprehensive agreement.
I'll make that motion.
As well as
With-
the,
with
go ahead and do the site license agreement and easement as one package.
Okay.
Subject to the changes
Okay.
agreed to.
So we got a motion to approve the comprehensive agreement. And do we have a second? A second? Motion and a second. All right, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And this will help the public. I mean, in our findings, that this is good for the public.
Yes, sir. Anything anybody needs, my
Thank-
cell phone's always
All
available.
right, thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, we've got another time certain related to our noise ordinance, and Mr. Lang, you gonna handle that for us?
Yes, sir. We have before us Gilchrist County, Florida ordinance number 2026-08, which is an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Gilchrist County, Florida, amending Chapter 38, Article 5, Section 38-123, and Section 38-124 of the Code of Ordinances of Gilchrist County entitled Noise Control, repealing any conflicting ordinance or section of ordinances, providing for severability, providing instructions to the codifier, and providing for an effective date, and that's reading by title only.
Okay, any questions by the board? Nope. How about from the public? Any comment from the public related to the proposed changes? It mainly focuses on the time factor where a noise would be considered a noise, and also the property boundary definition. Not seeing anybody. Okay, any other discussion? All
When
those
will
in-
this go into effect?
This, the initial ordinance said that if it was plainly audible at a distance of 100 or more feet away from the property line, this one says if it's plainly audible beyond the real property line. So a neighbor can't be 150 feet over there and blast you out on your property by turning it up. If it's audible past the property line, it's a violation. And it's also, before, it was only effective during certain hours. This ordinance will be in effect 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The first ordinance that we had, any noise created between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., it was exempt. So it had to be, a window there. So
And
that's
this
what we
is
did.
like, this gives the deputy, if they're having a birthday party, that's different. But if they're just being annoying,
gives our
they can-
our
right.
deputies more
absolutely.
leeway and
And we have-
enforcement authority,
Yeah,
I think.
And we have people like, but it's different if somebody's having an anniversary party, a birthday party, or whatever, so.
And
They
you've
can use-
given the officers in an earlier ordinance discretion on that
Absolutely.
very issue right there.
That's right.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
When does this go into effect, did you say?
Effective immediately when it gets signed.
Soon as Darryl signs.
As soon as Darryl signs.
No, I'm
it,
sorry,
the
let me take that back. It's gonna be signed, has to go to the Secretary of State, and when they stamp it in, then it's effective. Okay?
Okay, we've got another time certain at 4:45, which according to my clock is a minute away.
I can get one in.
Okay.
All right.
You can get one in.
Yeah. On the CDBG grant, as you know that we've had, it is for the culvert placement. We were, at last meeting, y'all approved the grant administration. We had to go back out to bid. The first time, we only received one application for the engineering. We went back out to bid to meet the criteria. We received one again, which was the same one, which was Locklear and Associates. So at this time, and I've reached out to the managing firm of the grant with the state, and we are approved to move forward with Locklear. Even though there's only one, we still need a motion and from the board and approval to move forward. And again, this is our grant-funded CDBG grant for the engineering for the culverts and the low-lying areas of flood areas. So,
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the bid results related to the CDBG grant. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, back to our time certains. And we have a 4:45 time certain related to speed limit on Northwest 10th Street.
Gilchrist County, Florida, ordinance number 2026-09 is an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners, Gilchrist County, Florida, establishing a 25 mile per hour speed limit on Northwest 10th Street from County Road 341 east to County Road 313, making findings, providing penalty for violation, providing instructions to the codifier, and providing an effective date. And that's reading by title only. I think on page 2 of the ordinance, you see the new street is being added to the 25 mile per hour list that you have there.
Okay. Do we have any input from the public otherwise?
I've had none. Have you had
Okay.
any, Bobby?
All right, I move to approve ordinance 2026-09.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. And should we ask for anybody?
Yes.
Anybody from the public here to speak to that item? Not see anybody, so a motion and a second to approve this ordinance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're back to, I believe the next time certain's at 5, so we'll go back to you, Mr. Crosby.
All right, one thing if I can add on the last, you approved Locklear as the engineer. Again, we need, for time's sake, we need to get the contract to move forward, that the board agrees. We have a contract that we are using that's provided by the state grant. We add the county stuff. If it's okay to allow Mr. Lang, once he approves it, reads that contract and approves it, if he's okay with it, for us to go ahead and be able to execute it to expedite moving forward.
The board okay with?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay, we're good then. All right, the next item is solid waste. As you know, for some time, I think we've talked about at least 2 different properties within our board meetings, and we've researched several properties. I researched some additional properties, and some of those properties, the people were not interested in selling to us because of it being a solid waste transfer site. And mainly the reason they weren't interested in selling to us is because of the development around it being, a lot of home density and the possibility of them selling additional property in the future for home sites as well. Another piece we found that we thought would work pretty good, but we found out it was landlocked and there's no way to get to it. So that was not going to do us any good as well. So we kind of decided, let's see what it would take to move animal control, and would it be better to just expand over to where the animal control is, which would have meant actually tearing that building down for the way it would work, and all which the building is still a good building for animal control, but it would not have worked out for solid waste. So just to rebuild animal control in today's current prices is around $900,000 to $1.1 million, and that would be if we building it on our own property. So, kind of give you an idea there. So after that, there was one other piece of property that I had found that the owners were willing to sell. It's up on County Road 340. It's about 1/2 to 3/4 miles west of the intersection of 47, State Road 47 and County Road 340. It's a 30-acre tract, 29.7 acres. And it would be on the north side of 340. And the price per acre, if you buy the entire lot, would be $25,000 an acre. And then if you were to want to split it up and reduce the size, it would be $30,000 an acre on that particular property. So if you bought the entire parcel, you're looking at $750,000. It's got a great location as far as ingress, egress. It's closer to Holland and New River. One of the big things that it does have is room for future expansion. As you know, since 2014 to current, we've had an increase of roughly 248% increase in trash. I don't know what the increase will be over the next 10 to 15 years, but if you have to build another site in 30 to 40 years, you would have a place to expand to. I don't know the price of property in 30, 40 years, so this could be a good investment into our future expansion if they have to expand, or any type of need that might be on the north end of the county as far as having the property.
And I know you had explained to me, because I was shocked, how much per acre, but you explained how much land had sold right near there.
Well, the land, and I don't want this to cloud it, because if you were to go out and get a true appraisal on this, you're probably going to fall somewhere from 11,000 acre to 15,000 acre. You're probably going to fall in that window because, when they appraise land, they're appraising it for you to be able to get it financed, buy it, and a bank be able to recoup if you can't finish paying for it as well too, or to make a loan on. But, for instance, Dollar General, they paid the land they bought average, was $52,750. The property the school board bought, which would be south of that intersection a few miles, was $14,000. But it also has a power and a gas utility crossing the northern part, which eliminates part of the use. The corner of 340 and 47, a lot of people remember it as the old dive shop or the little store that was there forever. That's a 1 acre lot that sold for $70,000. And then up at the corner of 138 and 47, that sold for $19,000 an acre. That just gives you some sale prices. You can't really say that would be the appraisal prices, so I don't want to paint the wrong picture, but it kind of lets you know what things are selling for. I think your big issues here, number one, as y'all have seen it already, is finding a location to put this type of facility. The great thing is it's not a, for the better term as we know, it's not a dump. We're not digging a hole, putting trash, or got to remediate that or anything. We're bringing it in, we're handling it properly. We're hauling off the water, the leachate that you wash down. So it's very, very environmental safe. And I love the fact that the trash generated in Gilchrist County leaves Gilchrist County. It goes somewhere else. And as long as we can do that. And then the other thing is, it's just really is what we'd already talked about. I feel like one day in the future, it might not be our kids that have to expand in the future, but it might be our grandkids. And will land be available, or what would it cost at that time? None of us have got a crystal ball to determine any of that. But I kind of think we're at a point here. And then the other thing we're looking at, we have a $4.2 million grant. Mr. Locklear and myself was on a call with Joe this week, and he
He's from
gave
the
us
state of Florida,
Sorry.
with the state of Florida.
With the state.
Yeah.
He's with the Department of Commerce. Very, very nice gentleman. He's the one that gave us a 6-month window to extend, but he was very concerned with us finding a piece of property, doing what we have to do, and getting it purchased before that 6-month window. We're 2 months probably into that 6-month window, so we've narrowed that down. So we're kind of getting to a point that we've got to look at, we've got to be respectable and try to do our best at what we do and what we purchase. But if we're not careful and we don't come up with the property or have the property, we're subject to losing $4.2 million as well. So, this is kind of a tough spot to be in, but it's a spot that we've got to make some decisions some kind of way, and we got to move forward.
Anybody that hasn't been here in the past and been part of the discussion, the reason we're proposing moving the location is the current location there in Bell receives all the solid waste from our remote sites. It's repackaged and then put into bigger trucks and then hauled to Union County. The challenge is that structure is 50 years old. It's really undersized. It's deteriorating. The state gave us this grant with the help of Senator Bradley and others that have been, the governor, and I don't know who all was involved maybe. But anyway, one of the things is we don't have enough land to expand where we're at. The other challenge is all that traffic going by the schools is becoming more of a concern, and it will get worse as we grow and
Already is.
yeah, get more waste. And so
Every day.
we're looking for a spot that's going to affect the least amount of people. If it's big enough, we can put buffers. We can, with the new designs that's required environmentally, it's going to be as environmentally safe as you can be with all that. And so that's kind of where we are at this point, I think.
I have
Yes, sir.
I'm very familiar with the property. I mean, I've been up there all my life. We used to hunt it. It joins up with what Anderson Columbia has bought now, and they've got it high fenced. So there will be no development on the back side of it, basically whatsoever. There is an 80-acre tract kind of to the northeast of it, but the other side is in front of Mount Ward Baptist Church there. So you're probably, Mr. Jenkins on that on the corner, so you're probably looking at least impact of about anywhere you could put it, because nothing's going to happen in the back. Plus, it's highway frontage. It's a nice piece of property. I'm like Bobby. I've looked at maps. I've looked all over the place. A good place for something like that's hard to find. If you're putting in a subdivision, it'd be one thing, but when you're putting in a solid waste transfer station, it's going to affect different people different ways.
There's a lot of things that comes into choosing this property that you might not use normally, because of what you're using it for. But I will say, we have set aside the 4.2 million plus another 3 million, so we have a $7.2 million budget to build this facility. The land is costing us quite a bit more than what we expected. So what we will have to do is be careful in the process. We may just have to build a little bit. We'll have a larger facility than we've got now. So that will help drastically, but we may have to cut back a little bit on that facility side, or maybe we'll get lucky because people's not quite as busy now. We might get a little better price, bidding this out, but we'll have to still try to work, within that budget.
Now,
And it can be designed so it can be expandable easily instead of having to rip everything down to
Absolutely.
expand it. That's,
And we
That's
can
how it's being built.
yes,
So
yeah.
we can buy the land with the money that we budgeted.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Right.
You would buy the land with the money that you budgeted.
Right.
The 4.2 million is for construction.
Okay.
So the
I
only
think
thing,
we ought to move forward on it. What do we need to do to move forward?
yeah, the only thing I would say is that statute, references, what's required when you're looking at purchasing real property. So, I think it needs to be acknowledged what we're doing. I believe that we recognize we're paying above the appraised value. I'll just read you the statute real quick. For each purchase in the amount in excess of $500,000, the governing body shall obtain at least 2 appraisals by appraisers approved pursuant to statute 253-025. If the agreed purchase price exceeds the average appraised price of the 2 appraisals, the governing body is required to approve the purchase by an extraordinary vote. The governing body may, by ordinary vote, exempt a purchase in an amount of $100,000 or less from the requirement of appraisal. So I think based on the statute, personally, I don't know that it makes sense for us to do the appraisals. We know it's going to appraise less than what is being discussed. The last property we were looking at, we got appraised, and it's a little different property, so it's probably not as valuable as this one, but it's comparable in my opinion. And so, again, I think it just needs to be acknowledged that, we're not going to do the appraisals based on the fact that we know that it's not going to appraise, but basically documenting the kind of what brought us to this point, that
What's the statute number, Todd?
it is 125.355.
125.
.355, and that is It's 1B. 1B, as in boy.
Does it state that you shall have to approve?
It says you shall obtain, yes.
Yeah, we need to have to approve.
Okay,
And then we can justify the price above that in that there are not any other readily available sites in the county that we can find to purchase, because y'all been looking for this for several months.
How fast can we get these appraisals?
Well, what's gonna have to happen on this, we're gonna order the appraisal, if we wanna tie it up, we need to get an option to purchase for a period of time at that price, get your appraisal, and then have a public hearing, and after it's advertised, then let you make your decision. If this is the piece of property I'm thinking about, I believe Kenrick, this might be his employer that owns this property, he would wanna file a memorandum form 8B, a conflict of interest, and not participate in the vote on that, because it would inure to the benefit of his employer. So just reminding you, he probably already was gonna say that anyway, but I just kinda took the lead there for you.
Okay.
I don't know how true this is, but somebody told me the other day, they Googled the average property price in Gilchrist County. The average price per acre is $22,500 per acre in Gilchrist County. So if you're doing 25, that's not too far off.
I can't believe that.
yeah,
Because,
I have,
there's a lot of farmers that aren't paying $22,000
Let
an
me
acre
go,
by land.
I'm fixing to go.
Well, maybe that's buildable property, I don't know.
The larger it is, the less it is, but now site-specific things like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this kind of use,
Yeah.
like the school.
Yeah.
had that spot.
And 5-acre buildable sites too.
Well, yeah, those are all higher, 5 acres, 10 acres.
Yeah, and they could subdivide this land into at least 5-acre lots and get substantially more than.
That's right. That's right.
well, what Google says is that land prices in Gilchrist County, Florida typically range from $5,000 to $15,000 per acre, while broader high-density listings can show higher averages around $26,879 per acre.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably talking about more buildable lots and things like that, but as opposed to
Bigger
large
lots are
parcels.
pretty expensive right now.
Specialty type property.
I think if you were, and I'll let Mr. Lane correct me on this, I think the motion that we would need today is to enter into an option to purchase the entire tract.
We're not entering into it, to move forward, prepare one for them to approve. at the
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Well, hold on, wait,
That's what we did with the property of Bell, didn't we? Didn't we enter
We need to go ahead and probably enter into an agreement with them that, based on it being zoned public and us getting through that, that we would agree to purchase the property. I don't think we need to wait 2 more weeks to do that. I think if we're gonna do it, they need to allow you to just draw up that document. Us go ahead and enter into it, and then I'll move forward with the 2
Okay.
appraisals. And let's go ahead and take care of that part. And then that way, because the next thing is we've got to schedule it to be rezoned to public. Would that be correct?
Yep, that'll work.
So it-
Agrees.
Bobby, I understand you say if we lost this 4-point-something million, it ain't coming back.
What is the time on that? Did you?
We've got some time on the construction, because we haven't drawn the line in the sand for the construction to start yet. So we've got a couple of years at least on that. But the problem is, we gotta draw that line real soon. But what we have to do before is show them that where it's going to be built. When we went out for the grant, we showed the location where it's currently located, but that's gotta be changed. They've already agreed to make the change, so they're fine amending that. But that's gotta be done sooner than later. That's why I'm saying we don't need to stall any more time, because of moving forward with what we're doing.
I'm okay with that, if the board is.
So it would be a motion for approval to develop an option to purchase, subject to appraisals and rezoning?
Subject to rezoning
Okay,
and getting the appraisals.
and getting appraisals, okay.
We know it's gonna appraise lower, so I don't think we
Yeah.
wanna say it's subject to.
Well, it sounds like the statute requires justification if you go above the appraised value, finding a special land use like we're talking about here would be part of that justification. I don't know if the statute allows for discusses those special land uses or not, but this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't really specify. The really only thing says that if you're going to go outside of the appraised value, the governing body is required to approve the purchase by an extraordinary vote. So in other words, I'm assuming that would be 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5.
Not 4 or 5, I believe.
Yeah,
In this case, it's gonna have to be 4 out of 4.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, would that be 3 out of 4 then?
Yeah.
Would be extraordinary?
Don't ask me that question.
Let's just see how the vote turns out.
Okay.
I'll know it when I see it.
All right. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move to move forward the motion that you stated just a second ago that requires we get appraisal and,
Subject to
move forward with the.
Contract for
with the
purchase.
contract. So,
Okay.
so moved.
Okay.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second for approval to develop option to purchase with appraisals and also subject to rezoning. Any other questions or? All
I'm
right.
like Bobby, I think we gotta move forward and do everything as soon as we can, if we can't afford to lose.
We can't
that
afford to lose $4 million.
We lost one.
Yeah.
Already, one spot.
Yeah, but we can't afford to lose that grant either.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
And we've already got a 6-month extension, so, and we 2 months into that.
No, because we know we have to do something. I mean, our facility right now is not,
And it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's getting bigger by the month almost now, but I think that's a great location. Like I said, I'm very familiar with it. When you leave the marathon there, like you're going to Bell on 340 there, it's that first curve right there. It's to the right. It's been, the hard timber's been cut off. It's pretty much clean cut. But it'd be real easy to clean up and get ready. But it's a nice piece of property.
So there's actually land on both sides of 340?
No.
Little bit of
No,
quarter,
the
but,
other-
they almost put
The
places.
other piece is a separate piece.
oh, okay,
It's just owned by the same,
okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
just on the north side.
there's
All right.
8 acres across the street.
Yeah.
okay,
But that's not
That's
what
a
you're
different parcel.
purchasing.
okay.
So any input from the public? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Elsa Ramos. I have a question. So if the waste power plant grant gets approved, you guys are looking for land, but I was confused about animal control. You guys were saying that animal control would be a better property for the relocation of the waste management?
So one of the options would be to relocate animal control and try to build it there, which would have been in the $900,000 to $1 million range to do that. And so that's part of the factor and the consideration related to this other property, and leave animal control where it's at.
Right.
However, if you did choose to move animal control and put the waste management plant there, you could grow at the animal control site where you build?
We're pretty well
We would be pretty
landlocked.
landlocked if
Oh,
we did
okay.
that, yeah.
and
I mean,
then-
we could put it there, but you couldn't get much bigger.
Okay, and then even if you keep that the same, keep the waste management plant where it's at, the animal control, if you decide to relocate that, is that also with the grant, or was that just finances from us?
So I think animal control would be a separate discussion. If we end up going to the other property, we would think about what we do there probably at a future
And
meeting.
it would be a county expense.
It'd be county.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else to speak on this? Nope. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. So we'll move forward with that and do what we got to do to move that along. All right, we have another time certain.
12 o'clock.
And I think, Mr. Lang, you're going to handle that for us?
No, I'm gonna let Mr. Tabor handle that one.
Okay. Mr. Tabor, all right. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Lang, this is a quasi judicial item, so
Sorry?
this is a quasi judicial item?
That's correct.
Yes. See, I'm learning not to jump too far
No,
ahead.
that's
so.
okay. this is the 5 PM time service?
Correct.
Okay. Folks, this is a quasi judicial hearing because it's site specific. When the board hears the testimony, you will need to make a determination about whether or not the information that you've heard is sufficient to move forward with approving, denying, or approving with the conditions. The chairman, commission members, party staff can raise an objection to irrelevant or immaterial testimony or repetitious of previously presented testimony. At this time, as we always ask, if any board member has had any ex parte or outside contact with the applicant or members of the public on this matter, you need to disclose that to remove any presumption of prejudice. Hearing none. If any board member has a conflict of interest, you should also disclose that. Okay. Hearing none, what we'll do, staff will present the application, followed by questions from the board. The applicant will then make their presentation in any, followed by questions from the board. There can be rebuttal testimony by staff or applicant, followed by public input, evidence, and comment. Then the board will deliberate, vote, and decide to approve, deny, or approve with conditions. So that being said, are there any questions? If none, I'll swear in staff member Justin Tabor this time. If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. He's been duly sworn, and I will turn the meeting over to Mr. Tabor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Justin Tabor. I'm a senior planner with North Florida Professional Services, and I'm here acting as your zoning administrator this evening. This application is VAR 2026-02. It's a request by Richard Leach and Dana Leach, who are the property owners, for an application proposing to reduce the left side setback from 10 feet to 3.5 feet, and to reduce the front setback from 20 feet to 12 feet. This would be in order to facilitate a replacement of an existing single-family residence on the property with a new single-family residence. The applicant is petitioning for this variance in order to reduce the impact to existing trees that are located on the subject property. Most notably, there's a 50-inch live oak that's located generally near the proposed structure central to the property, and the applicant contends that this variance would allow the structure to shift further to have less of an impact on the tree's root system, thereby increasing its survivability. The proposed replacement home, I would note too, is not encroaching any further into the setbacks than the existing structure. The existing structure is approximately 3.5 feet from the side setback and approximately 12 feet from the front currently, so there's no increase in the nonconformity. The next slide shows the location of the existing structure. You can see outlined there in red. And then moving to the next slide, you will see the location of the proposed structure. Again, 3.5 feet from the side setback and 12 feet from the front setback is what's being proposed. With respect to compliance with the Land Development Code, Section 12.05.04 of the Land Development Code sets forth the standards to consider when contemplating the approval of a variance application. We find that the request generally complies with the criteria found therein. And our recommendation to the Planning Commission is to approve the proposed variance to reduce the left side setback from 10 feet to 3.5 feet and to reduce the front setback from 20 feet to 12 feet for the proposed single-family residence at 2060 Southwest 76 Court, Bell, Florida 32619. And the owner, I believe, is present this evening. Yes, and I'm available to answer any questions. Of course, they're available.
Okay. Any questions for Justin?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Customarily, because of the precedent factor, this board has traditionally chosen not to grant variances when the cause of the request was caused by the applicant themselves. Has this been caused by the applicant themselves, this request?
No, Mr. Chair, I would say it is not. It's based upon the environmental conditions or the physical constraints that they're trying to address. We did work with the applicant to also ensure that they weren't encroaching any further into the setback. So they have made an effort to make sure that the nonconformity is not increasing at all. So yes, sir, that's a valid point. It's due to physical site constraints is why they're requesting this variance.
And I understand the structure that's there is already on that line.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not like you're going even closer, you're staying on the same line that it was before.
Correct, you're not increasing the, or encroaching any further into the setback than the existing structure.
What we don't want to do is establish a precedent going
precedents where
forward that
people-
everyone comes and uses this as a basis for their argument.
Yeah.
But if there's grounds, as he's pointed out in his recommendation, we call it.
Yes, and I didn't go into detail with the standards that are in your code. That is within the report that we presented to you that goes through that in more detail. I'm happy to answer any specific questions on that, of course, too.
It says the location of the proposed replacement structure would not further encroach into setback areas greater than the encroachments of the existing structure. So
Yes.
they're not really changing anything.
No, nothing.
Correct. And again, that was something that we worked with them on. They were amenable to pulling that back a little bit further so that they weren't increasing the encroachment of the setback.
Okay, any other
You're
questions?
recommending approval?
Yeah.
Any public
Yes.
participation?
All right. Yep, anybody from the public want to have any input? No, see anybody?
Motion to approve request.
Okay, have a motion and a second to approve the variance as discussed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a 5:10.
5:10, time certain. And Mr. Lang, will you introduce that? Or Justin will help us with that?
You got me again.
All
Once
right.
again,
This is also quasi judicial, so I'll let
Yeah,
Mr. Lang.
Does anyone have any questions about the rules concerning quasi judicial hearings? Does anyone have any, has anyone on the board had ex parte communications with the applicant or owner? Does anybody on the board have a conflict of interest? Same rules apply for this hearing. Let's go ahead and swear you again. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, our staff members have been sworn.
Good evening again, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Justin Tabor with North Florida Professional Services here as your zoning administrator. This application is application number DMI 2025-02. It's a request by Brian Pittman of Pittman Engineering LLC, agent on behalf of Anderson Columbia Co. Incorporated, who is the property owner, for a development of major impact to permit a borrow pit, proposing to excavate soil from the subject property. The reason for this application is in accordance with section 7.07.03 of your land development code, which requires any excavation that's greater than 10 acres to obtain approval of the development of major impact. The slide here shows the location of the subject property. Thank you for zooming in. You can see there is a leg that extends to southeast 70th Avenue. There is an approximately 90-acre tract located there in between southeast 70th Avenue. My address is southwest, so that's why my mind defaults to that. Southeast 70th Avenue. That's a 90-acre tract. There is a new single-family residence that's kind of central on that property, and we do have some residential areas to the south. The applicant is proposing buffering from all four sides, with, of course, the exception of the access to the site.
have they already been digging in this site?
Yes, sir. That's a valid point. There has been prior activity. They're proposing to increase that, and the applicant can probably speak a little bit more to this, but my understanding is the intent is to kind of level off the site as a whole as part of this process.
And access will be 70th.
Correct. Access would be from 70th Avenue.
And all this is subject to state environmental permit.
Correct. They still are subject to FEP permitting. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So when you get to the stipulations, then I want to add something.
Sure,
to see.
of course, of course.
Just on this property, I heard the question asked, because I don't want to think they've been digging before they had a permit. This has been active for a number of years. This was
Yes.
Mr. Barney Fairclough and
Yes.
Mr. Ferris, I think was his name, or the other gentleman. I can't remember the exact name, but this has been active for,
Yes.
I know, for over 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I believe your original SUP was 2004 or so that's correct.
since I've been the county administrator,
Over
we have
20
renewed
years,
the
yeah.
permit we did for Mr. Barney Fairclough and the original owners. And then Anderson, I believe it's Anderson Columbia that had purchased that, and it's time to renew it again. So
Well, plus, on a special use permit, it run with new property
it
owners.
did for a few years,
Okay,
ran
right,
out.
okay.
Yes, ma'am, the years ran out. Those were-
This was Harry Freeze's property.
Freeze, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now, you'll have a final order on this?
Yes, we do have a final order. We are proposing conditions, which I will run through a
Yeah,
summary of
because I
those
want
for
to
you.
see if the board wants to add a condition.
Sure, of
And
course.
also I had a question about, and that final will have a remediation type plan in there if they stop?
Yes, they will be required to do that. They have presented a plan.
Good.
Because this is not a mine, there's no bond required by your code, but they do have a remediation plan that has been submitted with this application. Yes, sir.
Right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Moving along, the zoning is A2, agricultural 2. If we could go just back up one slide here, down one more. Thank you. It's a little difficult to see at this scale, but you can see there towards the center, they do note that the excavation is proposed to start kind of on the northeastern end and then progress westward. So moving on, again, moving from the eastern portion of the property and progressing to the west. We do propose a condition that annually, which would be by March 1st of every year, that the owner provide the county with a copy of the most recent FDP mining and mitigation report, so that we would have more information regarding specifically what portions of the site are anticipated to be mined or excavated within the next year. And noted earlier, the access is from Southeast 70th Avenue. The applications have been reviewed for consistency with your comprehensive plan and are found to be consistent with the applicable goals, objectives, and policies that are located within the future land use element and the capital improvements element. And those specific goals, objectives, and policies are provided within the report that we presented to you. With respect to compliance with your land development code, there are a few sections that are applicable. Section 7.07.02 sets forth the standard for excavation activities. In addition to that, section 12.03.03C sets forth the standards for special use permit. Development of major impact is a subset of a special use permit. And then lastly, section 12.02.10 sets forth the standards for approval of a site plan. We've reviewed the application for compliance or with those standards and found it to comply with those standards. Moving on to the next slide, with respect to environmental features, a couple things to note. There are wetlands located on the subject property. We're proposing a condition that would require them to comply with the requirements of your comprehensive plan, which would be to preserve those areas and also provide a 35-foot buffer around those areas. With respect to flood potential, there are areas that are designated flood zone A. However, you're doing excavation, you're not bringing in any fill, so there's no concerns with the flood zones. And lastly, with respect to vegetative communities and wildlife, we're proposing a couple conditions, one related to gopher tortoises to require relocation in accordance with the state criteria. There's also potential on the site for the eastern indigo snake, so we're proposing a condition related to that. With respect to public facilities, the only impacted facility would be transportation, of course, with truck traffic. There are no other impacts to public facilities. So a summary of the conditions that we're proposing, they are highlighted or specified within the report that we presented to you. As I mentioned, one condition or a couple conditions relate to protection of endangered species, specifically gopher tortoises and eastern indigo snakes, as well as wetland protection as noted. We also are proposing a condition related to dust control, another condition related to buffering, which would require at least a 100-foot buffer around the site. And then also a requirement that they comply with all other state and local regulations for the reclamation of sand pits, and a condition that would require compliance, of course, with those conditions. Our proposal is to have a permit validity of 10 years with an option for them to extend up to 2 5-year periods. And if you want to bring up
this time I have, near this is 2 roads that get traveled a lot that I'm getting chip and seal done on in my district.
Okay.
And a lot of times people use this road to get to the Bronson Highway because it's like a shortcut. Can we make a stipulation where their trucks cannot be on 2 roads that we're getting chip and seal on? They can go out 26 or they can go the other way and go the dirt road, so they're not having to cut across on these chip and seal roads to try to get to the Bronson Highway.
I would have to ask the applicant as far as what rights they might have to access 26, because the parcel itself does not directly front.
No, they will go, no,
Okay.
I understand, they'll get off,
Okay.
they access 70th, so they'll either turn left on 70th
Correct,
and
okay.
hit 26,
I see.
or they'll turn right and go down and hit 110th and take them dirt roads. But I don't want them, cutting across and then going on the southeast 80th Avenue and then cutting across to southeast 80th Street and then going to the
We're
Bronson
getting those
Highway.
new chip and seal and the heavy trucks.
I
that
don't-
I follow
tear
you
that
now.
chip
I
and seal up.
misunderstood
Right.
as far as where you're saying.
And there's
as far as
two
access.
southeast 80th Avenues, so if we did this, we would specify, it would be from 26 south to southeast 80th Street and then southeast 80th Street.
Okay.
I think what you need to do is, maybe a simple way to put it, restrict the traffic. The ingress egress would be restricted to State Road 26 to Southeast 70th Avenue to their driveway and not using
Okay,
any of the
okay.
other streets. Because you also have, the other thing you gotta be concerned with there is that's a residential area.
Right, it's a
Where
big
you have a lot-
residential area
those are-
there.
Some of those are, I think, half-acre lots.
Yeah.
And you really don't need industrial equipment traveling through those areas as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I would agree with Mr. Crosby's recommendation that that's
So
your
that-
point of
that
access would
do,
be
I think,
26.
What you're saying, 'cause
That'll force them to go there.
what you're wanting them to do is come.
Because normally they'll
26 to
cut that
70th.
subdivision and then they'll
Yeah.
hit the bar road, then they'll take a right, and then they'll hit the road that comes out to Weeks Flea Market,
Is
the
the
county line
applicant
road.
here, or, I know, Mr. Pittman's here, so.
Do y'all have a problem with that?
Brian Pittman Engineering.
Because it's a subdivision too, and they
Yes,
really
ma'am.
don't need to be going in
I
subdivisions.
spoke
'cause-
to them, and I think the only concern they would have is if, say, a job came up
Oh,
on one of those roads for
absolutely,
whatever
yes,
reason.
sir.
So with the
That's
exception of
something
that,
different,
I
yeah.
don't believe there's any objection
Because,
to that
I mean, there's
whatsoever.
houses,
Yes, ma'am.
I
But
mean,
if-
there's so many
If there was for
kids
some
that live
reason a
out there.
scrap scout job, or if they wanted to pay to have it paid, with the exception.
Absolutely.
Similar to there's a job,
Right.
the ordinary back and forth day to day, I don't think that's
Okay.
a problem at all. Good. Yes, I believe so, yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Yeah, Thank you.
Thank you.
So is that to the extent of your presentation?
That concludes. The only thing would be, of course, our recommendation is to approve with the conditions that we presented or as amended.
Okay, so acting as the planning commission, what's the board's
Yes.
pleasure?
I make a motion, we approve it.
I second it.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve this use as DMI 2025-02.
Got it.
And any other questions or comments? Not? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, and then you'd want us to do the same kind of thing as the commission?
Commission, yes, sir.
All right.
Please.
Do I have a motion to do that?
I move to approve DMI 2025-02.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
And a second to approve the DMI 2025-02 as discussed. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Justin.
Thank
Public
you,
comment?
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Any
I'm
public
sorry,
comment?
yeah, public comment. Anybody from the public? Not seeing anybody, so thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We do need to get an amended order.
Yes, I can get with you tomorrow to get the language and make sure that it captures, and I'll also copy Mr. Lang so that he's got an opportunity, and Mr. Crosby. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's all the time certains. And I think we're down to Mr. Lang, resolutions, is that?
I think I have one item remaining, correct?
Yes, sir.
Resolution number 2026-08. That's a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Gilchrist County, Florida, amending Section 2.2 of the Gilchrist County policies concerning use of county credit cards, establishing the Otter Springs Park Manager limit as $8,000, reestablishing the Emergency Management Director as $5,000, and establishing an effective date. And that's reading by title only. When I was going over this with Ms. Karen, we couldn't find the resolution establishing the emergency management director. His initially was 2,000, had been bumped up to 5,000. So we're gonna go ahead and cure that with this right here, because it was on Richard's list, but we couldn't find a resolution to that effect. So that's why it's not only the Otter Springs manager, that's the same limit that's presently being granted to the Hart Springs Park.
I move to approve resolution 2026-08.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve resolution 2026-08. We discussed this at our last meeting, and so I don't know if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, okay. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Lang.
That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Newton?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Only item on my report today is the agenda change, and this will be brief. The supervisor of elections approached us and indicated that she needs to get the chairman of the board to sign a letter, and basically just says, please utilize this letter as authorization for Lisa Darris, current Gilchrist County Supervisor of Elections, to take possession of the QuickBooks account currently registered to former Gilchrist County Supervisor of Elections, Susan Bryant. In my opinion, this is not necessary at all, but this is what Intuit has requested, and it doesn't really harm anything, in my opinion, for the board to sign that. In my opinion, all she needs to do is provide her commission from the Secretary of State that indicates that she is the supervisor of elections. But again, it's what Intuit's asked for, so I don't really see any harm in it,
Right.
if that's what they want.
Okay. We need a motion?
Just if we could get a motion for the chairman to sign.
Make a motion that we grant the request.
Okay.
Second it.
Got a motion and a second to grant the request to Ms. Darris as presented. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And that concludes my report.
That's all you have?
Yes, sir.
I had one question for the
Yes, sir.
clerk. Did
Yes.
you ever hear back from Mr. Norm Connie on the notice of name change?
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet.
you.
Hopefully by next meeting.
All right, we'll go to our commissioner reports.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have heard about the House Bill 803 with building permits and inspections, which was signed on May the 7th, 2026, and it goes into effect July 1st, 26. Have you heard about that, Mr. Crosby? So it exempts minor residential construction under $7,500 from permitting, limits local government oversight, and stops HOAs from requiring building permits for, so that's something that's going to go into effect.
We've got to look into it a little bit more, because on a quick read, the first thing, it gives you a $7,500 window, but it rules out anything structural. It rules out anything electrical. So as the first read, I'm kind of like, what did they give $7,500?
Yes, I think it said like for doors and windows, stuff like that, but you might want to look into it and bring it back to us.
We're gonna go through it, yes, ma'am.
But I was seeing like it, for doors and windows, you wouldn't have to have a permit anymore.
Okay.
I just wanted, y'all might want to look at
No,
that.
appreciate that. Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right. Mr. Langford?
Yeah, I've been asked by the Florida Christian Coalition to present the board with a resolution. I have a draft. I'll give each one of you a copy.
Oh, thank you.
And it's Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance Resolution. I understand Florida statute. Florida has made October the 12th as Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day, and they're asking me if the board would pass a resolution. Give one to Duke. And this is a copy of the resolution that they're proposing that we pass. I think it's a great idea. I think everybody knows who Charlie Kirk was and what happened to him and what his motivation was and what his mission was. I would support it 100%. He's asking us to pass this resolution if we would. I know it'd probably have to be topped up and advertised and all that kind of stuff. He's also requesting that we set up a table or something at the library, if that's doable, possible. He would like to put all of Charlie's books on display. There's 7 of them that he has published, It's on the back page, the second page. Stop in the Name of God, Right Wing Revolution, The College Scam, The Mega Doctrine, Time for Turning Point, Campus Battlefield, and the Second Amendment and Hunting Heritage. He would like to have those books displayed at the public library. If they don't own them, we can purchase them and put them there. And that's my request. They're asking me, I've been involved with them a couple of years, and they're asking me to present this to the board and see if they would pass a resolution declaring October the 12th.
Who's passed this, Tommy?
Huh?
Who has already passed this? Did you say the legislature has passed it?
The legislature has, not the resolution, I think they've passed Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day in Tallahassee. So October the 12th, in the state of Florida, will be Charlie Kirk Remembrance Day.
October 14th.
Huh?
October 14th.
October the 14th? He told me October 12th. Maybe I heard it wrong. October 14th is what he said.
And who has passed this? That's what I was getting at.
I don't even know who else passed it. I could call the guy and find out. I don't know who else passed it. He's from Fort Lauderdale. He's calling me and asked me if the board would consider this resolution for Gilchrist County and put the books at the public library.
Okay.
The books is not a problem. We can take care of that. I mean,
Right.
I'll take care of that. But if the board would be passed a resolution, he said he would come up and do a presentation if we move forward with it.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we take it, read it, bring it back to the
My
next meeting?
suggestion is that you read it and bring it back. If the county attorney approve it, can advertise it, whatever we need to do to move forward with it. That would be my request.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all got a copy of it? Anybody else need a copy, you're welcome to it.
Okay.
Okay?
Anything else?
Let me see if what else I wrote down. I don't know if y'all been out on 337, but the road department and Bobby worked with the ingress, egress out there when you come off of the Miller grade that crosses Dixie Highway there. It turns right off at Blue Springs Road, across from Blue Springs. You turn in, it's dirt road all the way to 337. Mm-hmm. Well, we were having some issues there. They put up some signs. They picked them up and threw them in the bushes, but they went out and addressed it again, and they've changed the interest there, made it a longer and a better approach. Now a big truck like a semi can enter it real easy and stuff. There's still a stop sign there, but I had several residents that said it was a safety issue. So they went out and addressed it, and it really looks good. They did a fantastic job, made a whole lot of it. All the residents are happy with it. But if you get over in that area, take a look at it, because it was a problem, but they've addressed it very well, and it looks good, and everybody's happy. So maybe there won't be no safety issue anymore.
Good.
That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Martin?
Yeah, I went to the CARES banquet in Live Oak, went on their tour of the farm and looking at all the BMTs.
What is CARES?
It's CARES I can't tell you exactly what it stands for. They told me one time.
County Alliance for Responsible Environmental Stewards.
There you go. Daryl knew. I knew he would know what it is. CARES banquet. Anyway, they had a tour for people who wanted to see the farm and see the research farm of it. Very, very interesting. We saw a lot of research on carrots and different vegetable crops. And then we saw a thing on their irrigation and how much fertilizers leach after 1 inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and 3 inches of water. And it absolutely showed that you need to put not more than 1 inch of water out at a time, a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of water. It showed how far it leached down. They did it with dye. Very, very interesting tour. It was a very good program, just as normal. The food was absolutely fabulous. And it also just emphasized the BMPs that farmers use, and showed a lot of the improvements that have been made in irrigation over the years, so that you don't waste as much water, that it's put out in a fashion that is less evaporation happens. And it was just very, very good. A lot of them are using water monitors now, and they're monitored so that they can keep the water right in the root zone where it needs to be. They can tell whether it goes too deep or if it's not deep enough, and they can adjust their irrigation to fit that. And so it shows all the responsibility that farmers are doing now to with our resource of water. They have to have water to grow a crop. We can't just not water, but now they're watering as efficiently as possible, and that was good. I also got a chance to visit all the roads in Gilchrist County. I was out putting signs up, so I got to see all the roads. Bobby, I had a question on the chip and seal they did to Jenny's grade. It's really, really,
That
or
was a
not,
chip
not,
and
excuse me,
seal.
not to Jenny's, excuse me, to the lake.
Jenny Lake's the cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
That-
chip and seal, that's, that was millings.
Okay.
Where's that at?
It's really rough.
Jill-
And I was
oh,
hoping that
Jenny's
wasn't a
Lake.
sign of chip and seal,
No, that's
but
not chip and
that's not chip and seal, that was just
No,
millings
that's
that was
millings
put
and-
out. Yeah,
They're actually, it looks like somebody may have drove actually a tractor down.
I was fixing to say, it looked like a bulldozer went down with it, cause it's got really bad grooves in it. Can that be rolled or something?
No, they're actually, we've been talking about that for a couple of months, and I think they said today they're planning on going one day this week, and they can grade it off.
Okay,
And roll it back out.
okay, I noticed that was right.
Can they
And-
spray something on that?
I think they did on that.
Oh, they
It's
did,
just, the thing is, you know, it's not, that wasn't very thick, it was just
Right.
trying to help out that area.
To seal
And
it off,
the
yeah,
right
it
heavy
helps
piece
seal
of
it.
equipment drove down it, and it's gonna leave those tracks in
Yeah.
it. So
It was like that at the last funeral. I went
But the
to.
rest of the roads I traveled down were in great shape. I was real pleased with them. Went on 138 where they did the repaving. It's just wonderful. And so I wanted to report and just give a attaboy to the graders because the roads were in really good shape. It rained that day, and even with the rain, the roads were in pretty good shape. I was really impressed with a bunch of roads that I went on. So that was good. And other than that, I've been to Otter and I've seen all the improvements at Otter Springs. That's been really nice. And it looks like everything's been real busy at Hart. So everything seems to be going good.
All right. Mr. Thomas?
Nothing.
I was going to mention, you might have heard about the North Florida Water First project that has been discussed quite a bit, where it was proposed that in 10 years or so, Jacksonville would send treated reclaimed water back this direction. And what I understand is that project has been put on hold, or actually the wording was canceled. And I seen Senator Simon had sent a letter out related to that. So if anybody's interested in that, just wanted to make that information available. And I think that's pretty much what I had.
I've
And
got a question.
yes, sir.
The burn ban's still on.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you look at the index that they sent us, it was before the rain we got this weekend. Around, I don't know how they come up with these, but around 300 to 400 is where they tell you to start paying attention and be sure you could have, well, even after the rains before this weekend, we were at 700 to 800. We actually, the rain came at a perfect time. I was driving home last night, looked over, and there was a fire in some trees. Wasn't very big, but lightning had struck and started a fire. I'm just saying that to kind of make the point of what they're doing. But,
Well, I know a lot of parts of the county's got rain, some parts ain't.
That's right.
some of the northern part didn't get any rain yet the other day. and then
You
we
can
didn't
still
get
burn
any
if you get a permit from the forestry, you can burn.
Yeah, if forestry issues you a permit, then you're okay, but.
Yeah.
We had a hailstorm on my house yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Quite a bit too, and we got some rain, but we still have to be very cautious on water conservation because our water table is really, really low.
There wasn't a lot of electricity yesterday, the lightning, but there was some. It actually took out my TV and my satellite box and about 4 things at my house. It hit my house and scared the snot out of me. It made my whole house shake.
There was some bad lightning,
Yeah.
but we appreciate the rain.
Yes, we do. All right, we're down to the last part of our agenda is public participation. Anybody in the public want to come forward? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Elsie Ramos again. I wanted to make a comment on the Charlie Kirk Day. Is that supposed to be for this county a remembrance as a holiday? Is that what that's going to be? Like a Christmas or New Year's or 4th of July?
For what now?
I
For
missed.
the Charlie Kirk remembrance?
no, ma'am.
Is that
It's,
supposed to
no, it's not a holiday, it's just a resolution. It's like we have resolutions to recognize Nurses Day, we have resolutions to recognize different groups. This is just a resolution to recognize that
recognize.
day. It's not gonna be a national holiday, at least not at this point in time. It's just a resolution to recognize it.
Does this board recognize June 19th?
The Juneteenth?
Juneteenth.
June 19th? Does this board recognize June 19th?
I'm not sure. If that, is that a
Is that
a national
for our
holiday?
employees?
It's not a national
No.
holiday.
No, but
It's-
there
it's-
might, we give a,
follows the 8th Judicial Circuit Court's
Right.
holiday calendar. I don't know that Juneteenth is on.
Juneteenth is not on the,
Yeah.
the excerpt
Not on
holiday.
but we give a floating holiday, so if somebody did want to take off that day, they could use their floating holiday for that.
Right.
I would like to point out, has anyone on this board read any of Charlie Kirk's books? Nobody has read any of his books. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because nationally we're having book bans, which is restricting certain types of authors. So we're having a huge ban across books of education from Jewish, from Greek, from Black, from other minorities. I'm pointing that out because if no one on this board has read his books and we want to bring in this day, I think it's important because I do support the First Amendment. So I'm not saying that the libraries don't need to have this book, but I think if the libraries are taking out certain books that are banned on the national list, that we need to consider what type of books we want to and put into our communities. I say that because he is not a public figure. Charlie Kirk is a person versus MLK, JFK, Lyndon B. Johnson, Obama, Biden, Bush, any of the presidents that you'd like to name, Washington. So I really would like the board to consider what they're asking for when they're asking to remember this day. Because if this board chooses to remember this day, I feel like a conflict of interest with the county and the people when it comes to other books that are being banned and other holidays that are not being recognized. So I just would like I would encourage you guys to do some more research outside of social media, outside of .coms when it comes to his background. I'm not saying what happened wasn't tragic. I'm just saying for us to put some books in the libraries, we need to focus on books that provide education, books provide ideas for finances, on housing, on making your own food, common sense things that we are not seeing in our children. So especially if we're not even reading the history of Trenton itself, I think we need to have a bigger and broader idea of what we want to really start expanding our youth to, and looking at the books that are being banned versus the books that were asking to come in, and what's the difference between those authors. I support all authors, but I really encourage this board to do a little bit more investigating on the books that he has. Not that that's going to stop us from putting them in the public libraries for freedom of speech, but some of the books that are being banned are crucial to our history when it comes to the Holocaust, crucial to our history when it comes to slavery, crucial to our history when it comes to this development of this country, starting in up to 250 years. I just wanted to point that out, that I really would think that reading his books and having a better understanding of what the children will be reading versus taking away books of education when it comes to science and other aspects. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys.
Thank you for your input. We appreciate it. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
My name is Jim Ramos. I volunteer at the VA. I am a veteran. And do you guys get the update of federal and national holidays?
I'm sorry, I missed the part of your question.
The VA does a federal, upcoming federal holidays, and they give it out to everybody. As you know, Memorial Day is this coming Monday. The they do have here Friday, June 19th, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is a national federal holiday. President Biden put it in place, I think, in
Right.
21.
Yeah.
But it's
of course-
not a holiday for the Eighth Circuit.
And
Which is-
then, of course, we observe for keeping the holiday open for a 3 or 4 day holiday. Friday, July 3rd is observed as Independence Day. So, but I get that all the time, so, and everybody wants a free day off. Me too. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for your input. All right, anybody else? Not seeing anybody else, all right, we got a motion to adjourn.
moved.
Moved, and a second, all those in favor?